Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So we all know that things have gotten ridiculously expensive and it just seems to be getting worse. It's no news to us. So I just wanted to put together this quick video just to show how other people are experiencing this, dealing with it, managing it if they are, and just to get a sense of where we're all at the start of this new year. So without further ado,
What is everybody doing to make life more affordable? Because I feel like everything is so expensive right now.
we're not. That's just it. The answer is we are not. In this day and age, it really does feel like things are just unaffordable. It feels like the second you step outside of your house, you're basically bleeding money. So, yeah, to answer your question, we're not. We're not.
I'll go first. I literally moved apartments. I moved to a different part of town because I was spending 60, almost 70% after utilities of my income on rent.
You see, that's where you messed up. All right. You actually thought that you could improve your life. You actually thought that, having aspirations of living somewhere and possibly holding down some sort of sense of normalcy, some sort of sense of, oh, I can afford this. You thought that was going to work out in the long run. That was your first mistake. And trust me, you're not the first one to be there. We've all had these notions of, oh, the harder we work, the more time we put in, the longer we do something, it'll work itself out. But no, not in 2025, not in 2026, not even in 2024. All right. That doesn't work anymore. So the solution to your problem, your current problem, is just don't have hope. Don't strive to do any better than you are right now, because if you do, you will hit a brick wall where you're going to have to just take 4 steps back. So that was your first mistake.
Just on housing. And you're like, Lauren, that's crazy. Correct. But I'm not the only one because according to this study by CBS News, 75% of Americans have found housing to be unaffordable in their communities.
I'm actually surprised it's only 75%. I haven't looked at that study, but I'm sure it's higher at this point. But yeah, housing is just the tip of the iceberg. You have housing, you have food, you have, you know, any kind of consumer debt, be it credit cards, be it auto loans, whatever it is. It just feels like a never-ending barrage, haymakers left and right of just endless BS, if I'm just being honest with you. So yeah, it really just does feel like that. No matter what you do, you really can't keep that same consistent payment. At some point, it's going to go up. At some point, they're going to try and price you out of something. And if you're not really tight and strict with your budget and kind of just foresee the increases that you will inevitably pay, it's how the world is now. Greed is a big thing, a bigger thing than it used to be. You really can't get ahead if you could get ahead before. I hope I'm making that. I hope I make myself somewhat clear.
They say it's gotten a lot more expensive, which I know I've personally seen. So what are you guys doing? Are you like buying less groceries,
Yes.
not going on vacation,
Yes.
or I don't know. Some people can't afford healthcare, so they're like, I'm just not gonna get sick.
See, the funny thing with that, at least for me, is I can afford healthcare and I'm still with that same mentality. I'm just not going to get sick because the second you use that healthcare, first of all, at least with my healthcare specifically, I got to pay a deductible for it. So I'm pretty much paying out of pocket before I can even hit that. And, same thing with like auto insurance and all that kind of stuff. The second you use it, it gets more expensive, which is so dumb. So not only are they charging you out the wazoo to even be able to either drive your car on the road or just have health care, the second you actually use it, they're going to increase your premiums. And it doesn't make any sense to me, right? Not only that, when you're trying to actually file a claim for any kind of auto insurance, they'll do whatever they can to get out of actually paying that claim, or doing what you're actually, or providing the service that you're actually paying for. It's so stupid. It really is.
It doesn't seem like a sustainable option to me, but I am also looking to cut costs. So let me know what you guys are doing.
Is everything so damn expensive? 4 years ago, my rent was $1,200 a month at a luxury apartment complex. It is now $2,100.
You know something? My go-to response to that would be find a new place to live. But nowadays, I honestly, that's probably as best as you're gonna get. Stick with that because there's really nothing out here at all.
Not even including utilities.
It really doesn't feel like it's been that long. Only 4 years ago, it feels like it's been like 20 years. But that it really, when you're under a lot of stress and you just have constant, you're constant, something is constantly weighing you down. Time just feels like it's slowed down to a crawl. So yeah, 4 years ago feels like a literal lifetime ago.
I went to the grocery store yesterday, right? And got 3 bags of chips, some ground turkey, and some vegetables. And it was $67!
Well, now I gotta ask you, what kind of chips did you get? Was it the fun size, the regular size, or the like the family size? Because those family sizes nowadays, they're complete scams. It's half air, half chips, at twice the price. So yeah, skip those family sizes at all costs. But I do agree with you. I hate grocery shopping. Like I never liked grocery shopping, like period. But I absolutely detest grocery shopping now. When you walk into a store, like there's no point even grabbing a cart, if I'm being honest with you, because by the time you're done, you'll be spending over $100, and the amount of stuff that you walk out of the store with, you can carry in two hands. It's pretty pointless. Like the amount of vitriol I have for grocery shopping it's gotten to a point where like even just thinking about it disgusts me. But I completely get it. Yeah, $60 for a couple bags of chips, vegetables, and some ground turkey is absolutely ridiculous.
What? My car insurance from 4 years ago until now, with no tickets, no wrecks, no nothing on my driver's record, has gone from $130 to $240 per month!
Yeah, and on the whole car insurance thing, back on that, it really does feel like kind of a scam because not only are your premiums increasing without any accidents, any tickets, it's just, I guess, just inflation, if that's what they want to call it, but it's increasing on a depreciating asset as well. So you're paying more for something that's costing you less in the long run by default. So it really does feel like a scam.
3 years ago, my electric bill was averaging $45. Now it's averaging $125. You go and get a tank of gas once a week, and you're dropping $70. I mean, a guy can't even buy a can of dip for less than $8. $8 for a can of dip?
And yes, the electricity regulation has gotten out of control. Like this, the increase in electric prices is ridiculous. Going from 45 to that's over 100% increase. You're looking at maybe like a 200% increase. That's absolutely insane. And as much as I understand the whole deal with AI, but I think we have to get to a point where we realize that AI is is the reason behind a lot of these higher electric bills, right? So a lot of these companies are, creating a lot of these AI data centers that are siphoning a lot of electricity, which the cost is then being passed down to the consumer. That's a big reason why electric bills across the country are just skyrocketing at an insane rate. So we really have to figure out how to, regulate a lot of these AI data centers that are being just popping up left and right, because this is very unsustainable. And I dread to think how far this can go if we allow it to go.
What the is going on?
At the end of the day, it's just greed. It really just is. It's greedy corporations trying to siphon as much money as they can from us, and they're just getting away with it. At the end of the day, there are certain products and certain things that we need as people that we will buy. No matter what we say, we're gonna need, hygiene products. We're gonna need things, and we're gonna buy it. If we can get it on sale, if we can get it at a cheaper cost, great, but we have to get it somehow. And a lot of these companies, they do a lot of this market research and they know this stuff. So they know that we're going to buy these products. So at the end of the day, it's greed, it's manipulation, and it's something that we have to figure out. It's a really hard thing to do, but it's something that we have to figure out if we want things. It's not going to go back to the way it was. That's what we have to understand right now. Things are never going to be cheap. Honestly, they're never going to be cheaper than they are now, because prices don't really ever go back down. At the very best, they maintain. So we have to figure out a way to maintain or, reduce the rate of inflation as much as we can to somewhat get back on steady footing, increase pay rates and all that kind of stuff. But, the prices that were pre-pandemic, pre-C, they're never coming back. So we just have to just forget about those and move on. But moving forward, we just have to figure out a way to kind of just stem the bleeding at this point. Yeah, so it's just greed and honestly tariffs as well. So, that's a whole different discussion. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. We just have to figure out a way to move forward.
I'm grocery shopping. When did a bag of chips cost $7.29?
And like I said, I guarantee you 55% of that straight air, oxygen. That's all it is.
What?
Stop complaining about how everything is more expensive and just stop spending all your money.
No.
I really don't understand what the major issue is. If you spend less than you make every single month, it doesn't matter how expensive things are, because you will always have more money in your pocket than you are spending it.
So I get the point that he's trying to make, right? But I think what this creator doesn't understand, or maybe doesn't really see right away, is that even if you spend less than you make, well, first of all, the whole notion of spending less than you make, I feel like that's more of a personality trait, right? Like me personally, I'm a saver. I'm not a spender. So I tend to just naturally spend more or spend less than I make. But at the same time, whether you're doing that or not, you still feel it. So say like you're making $100, right, relatively, and you spend, $20, you save $80, or spend $30 and save $70. It doesn't matter if you're overspending, or say like you're spending, inverse it, 70-30. If the cost of living goes up, me spending more than that $30, say like I spend 50, it's still going to affect me because I'm naturally inclined to not spend anyways. So the issue is it's relative to you as a person. So it doesn't matter if you spend less, right? If you naturally have that habit, you're going to feel it even if you're not a spender, right? It's relative to who you are. So I get the point he's trying to make. Yes, if you spend less, no matter who you are, you'll have enough for your needs. I understand that. I get that. But you still feel it whether or not you're a spender or not, if that makes sense.
I think the major issue that people are having is they want to spend like all the other people that they see spending, when right now you just don't have enough money for that. So you need to save your money, and then once you have a surplus, then go out and spend some of your money.
Yeah, but not everybody's like that, right? I like to save my money and save my money. So if I don't have that money to save, I still feel a certain type of way about it. I'm not trying to keep up with the Joneses, and a lot of people aren't as well. So like I said, I get what he's trying to say, but just telling people to just not spend money, I want to kind of say it's a broken record. Yeah, people know, people understand that, but it's a habit. It's a learned thing. If you didn't grow up like that, it's not something that's easy to just do. But even if you do grow up like that, you still want to be secure in what you have. And if you don't have that security because you're spending it on the increased cost of living, it's still going to make you feel a certain type of way.
Like, it is so frustrating that we used to say eggs are so expensive,
Which they are.
groceries are so expensive.
Which they are.
But if you talk to these people, they're also spending $1,000 a month on a stupid car payment.
Which is pretty stupid. I do agree with that. I understand the cost of cars now, especially new cars, are astronomical. But $1,000 a month on a car payment, it's pretty ridiculous.
They're spending hundreds of dollars a month on Amazon to get the newest and greatest things. Literally, cut out all the excess and you will have just enough for your needs. Because the reality is there's a major difference between wants and needs.
You're right. There is a difference between wants and needs. For example, we want prices to stop increasing. And for that to happen, we need prices to stop increasing. So, like I said, if it doesn't bother this creator as much, that's fine. But I don't believe it's not bothering this creator. All right. It's going to bother you to a certain extent. Your threshold of what, you're willing to put up with might be different compared to somebody else, but it doesn't mean that your life isn't affected in some way, shape, or form. You might be able to deal with it. You're used to it. That's fine. That's understandable. But it doesn't negate other people's realities that things are expensive, whether you know how to budget, whether you know how to save money, whether you know how to do all of that. Things are getting more expensive, point blank, period. All right. In this day and age, I hate using that term, this day and age, to be completely honest with you. But nowadays, most people have multiple jobs just to maintain that status quo, whether they're good with money or not. It's hard. Most people in multiple party incomes, 2 or more, it's needed at this point. You really can't live by yourself. All right. So whether or not this creator wants to admit it, I know for a fact that they're affected in some way, shape, or form. It may not be to the same extent as other people, but I know for a fact that they're having to dial back on something. But to each their own. I get what they're trying to say. The way things are right now, it's really hard for me to agree. I get it, but it's hard for me to really agree with what he's trying to say, even as a saver myself.
So remember that the next time you're complaining and saying that everything is so expensive.
No. Well, that's all I've got for you guys today. I know it's really tough out there, and we're all just trying to get by day with this crazy economy that we're in. But if you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and comment to help YouTube push these videos through their algorithm. And also, if you enjoy this kind of content, feel free to subscribe so you can stay up to date on new videos that'll be posted in the future. Until then, you guys take care.